How does collaborative practice differ from mediation?
Well, in most mediations, the parties come to the table without an attorney being present. Although, as a mediator, and I'm an attorney mediator, I do always recommend to the parties, if they have an attorney, whether they come to the table with them or not. But frequently, the large majority of the time, they're not there. And the parties talk to their attorneys, if they have an attorney, outside of the mediation. When the attorneys come to mediation, they come to mediation, but they're in an adversarial role, just like they are in litigation. Whereas when they work in the collaborative process, they're working as a team to help solve a problem rather than as adversaries. So the whole mindset from the attorney's point of view is different in the collaborative process than it is in any other process. So that's really, I think, the big distinction between the two.
And a related question from the audience, Lenny, was, or maybe Yvonne, because Yvonne had said that a mediator in a mediation setting remains balanced. And so what does that mean, that a mediator is balanced?
The mediator isn't going to advocate for either spouse's position. The mediator will reflect and help the other spouse understand what that position is, but the mediator will not advocate for either spouse. The mediator will not give legal advice if it's an attorney mediator. Sometimes a spouse will feel that the mediator is biased, and that is a critical issue to be brought out and discussed in the mediation, because if it's not resolved, the person who thinks the mediator is biased may terminate the mediation process. Whereas if they would raise that concern, it might be able to, it can be discussed with the mediator and possibly resolved. But a mediator will work very hard to not buy into one spouse's position or judge what either spouse is saying, I need or I want.
Mediation is a great process when the parties both have a fairly good understanding of the finances of the parties. But if one spouse is completely ignorant of the finances, there's an imbalance. And it's not the mediator's job to educate. The mediator's job is to discuss and see if they can have the parties come to an agreement, but not to give legal advice, as Bob said. You can't do that.
If a spouse in mediation, or if both spouses in mediation feel that they want a spokesperson at their side, then they would want their attorneys at the mediation, or they might want to consider the collaborative process where the attorneys, where each party will have an attorney, and the attorneys take an active role in all the negotiations.
So keep in mind that collaborative attorneys have divorce mediation training. That's one of the requirements. Mm-hmm. And secondly, as Yvonne was just pointing out, that in a collaborative divorce, the parties have their attorneys with them throughout all of the negotiations.
One other point, there have been times in collaborative divorces that I've not been involved in where, as they've gone on, they've run into an impasse or a problem, and they've called me in as a mediator in the collaborative process to work with the attorneys and the parties during the collaborative process. So there's a lot of flexibility in the collaborative process as to calling on whoever might be helpful in helping the parties come to a resolution.
And that's a great point to emphasize. Again, somebody said, I think it was Barbara, about the creative nature of the collaborative model. That the focus from the beginning is a commitment by the parties and all of the professionals in the case, to work toward a mutually acceptable settlement that's the best outcome for that particular family under their circumstances. Everybody's committed to that from the beginning. And so there's a focus on, instead of fighting and hiding stuff and not being cooperative, it's creating this atmosphere from the beginning of working together to find the most creative and the best solutions to the particular issues that a particular family has in their divorce case. So, opportunity for creative problem solving.